broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hi, AfterBuzzers! It's me, Kylie Hodges. You can follow me on Twitter at the Kylie Hodges, and we are going to talk about Finding Carter Season 2, Episode 16, called The Sound and the Fury.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Who is my lovely co-host to my left?
What's up, guys? I'm Hannah Prichard. Y'all can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude.
And Hannah purposely tried to match our set.
I did.
Backdrop.
I'm trying to be a floating head.
You're doing a great job.
Good.
Some of you, most of you watching might be like, I watched this for Yale Teagle. Where is she?
Great question.
These are great questions that, we'd have to hire the Olsen twins to solve this mystery. She is sick, and bless her heart, she got me sick, because I'm feeling the illness set in.
And I won't be happy if you all get me
You're
sick.
probably going to be sick when you leave. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Marissa,
It's not
engineer, on point with the sound effects.
Right out the gate.
So we're going to recap this episode, and then I'm going to collapse the minute it's done.
Great.
Maybe bury my face in some chicken noodle soup.
Sounds good.
We learned right before we started rolling here that, or maybe everybody knows this and just
I
not
think
you and
everybody knows this, and you and I are just idiots.
The episode is called The Sound and the Fury, and apparently that's the name of a book, coming of age.
So
kind of
Carter's
makes sense.
coming of age.
Yeah, because someone acknowledged that Carter seems like she's wisening up. Was that David? Yeah.
Oh, yes. Ooh, that's an interesting thing to say about her. You know, wisening up and then coming out with her real
Is that a
age.
word? Wisening?
Wising. I like wisening, so everybody, meh.
My mind is foggy.
Yeah, mine too.
All right, let's jump into this. I want to talk about Carter first. She's learning to bartend. You don't like that she's a bartender?
I'm fine
Bachelor
with
party.
her being a bartender, but like it was bothering me the whole time because I'm like, she's not 21. Which, granted, we finally approached the age.
Yeah.
But
Jared did not know yet.
and also when she made it that one time, which who knows how many times he let her waste alcohol to perfect this mojito. But then the last time he was like, needs more sugar. I'm like, I don't even know. Like
There's
I
sugar
don't
in
know.
a mojito.
Yeah, but it's usually like simple syrup, right? Not straight
Yeah, but that's
sugar.
I mean, it's simple syrup is just sugar and water.
Yeah, I
heated
just
up on
thought
the
it
stove.
was interesting terminology. I'm like, I don't know if anybody throws a sugar cube in a mojito.
Interesting topic to choose to be so picky about.
Yeah, it bothered me.
Well, Carter's learning to bartend, and then whoop, bam, we get a kiss early on in the episode.
Which that actually was.
It was kind of sexy.
It
I
was
kinda
kind
dug
of a hot kiss. Like at first I was like, okay, we're like forcing this flirtation just to get to the kiss because it was like, I'm going to play this game with you.
Yeah.
Throw the t-shirt. But then when he like pulled it and pulled her in, I was like,
hello.
Oh, okay, bartender, starting to like you.
The places they choose to make out are always a little scandalous. On top of the desk.
Yeah,
On a
right.
couch. I guess that's not that scandalous. I guess it's more they're like sitting like with their legs intertwined. It's like, oh, me.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
my.
right? I know, she was. She went like straight on, like
Sexy.
lap.
Yeah. I saw him grab her butt at one point, and I was like, woo,
Hot and
MTV.
heavy fast.
Yeah. Jared reveals the bar's in trouble.
Yeah.
Magic Hour needs to pay the rent.
Yeah,
So Carter,
of course.
she's like, I've got an idea. Let's do something illegal. Let's find an empty warehouse that I knew about because my mother is a cop, and let's illegally throw a party and make a ton of money and pay the rent.
And nobody's gonna hear this like huge rager going on, like, I don't know, miles away. Or you're gonna see a flyer, or gonna see it all over social media, and like cops are totally not showing up.
No, which is impressive. I was assuming it was in the middle of nowhere. But the thing that really got me during this rave, out of everything that went on, all the drama, at the end when Jared was complaining that it was hot, Carter turns on the water.
I know, dude.
And I kept thinking, everybody's gonna get electrocuted.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is it. This is it. There's gonna be a tragedy. There's gonna be fire. Everyone's gonna be trapped. There's gonna be people climbing out and dying.
I didn't even think about that. All I kept thinking is, that was pretty quick of her to locate that little turn of the wheel thing so quickly and know that it was going to set off all of the water on the sprinklers. I was like, nah, Carter's clever, but I don't think she's that clever. I would have maybe seen like a fire alarm and that would have worked better, but like the whole turning of the wheel, what you got something.
So Yell from her sick bed sent me her thoughts on the show, and I didn't even realize this. She thought the same thing about the sprinklers.
Really?
Here, these are her words. When it starts overheating and they can't open the window, she turns on the sprinklers. Did you see that DJ table and all the lights they plugged in? You don't just turn on water on all that stuff. I'm surprised no one died. Yell. You're like my spirit animal right now.
I
get
just more
you.
Intelligent than me. That was not where my mind went.
Or we're just frightened of everything.
Or that. The only thing I liked about turning on the water was like then the makeout sesh between like Max and
Taylor,
yeah,
Woo,
yeah.
That was a hot and heavy one.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's like such a scene that everybody's like, oh yeah, I just want to make out with the sprinklers in a rave, and like, nah.
Yeah.
It was a little moment, and I thought it was cute.
Now, Yell also feels the same way I do. She says that Carter's solution to throw a party is classic King Carter.
Yeah.
Putting her nose where it doesn't belong. And granted, Jared volunteered the information, but at no point was he like, help me.
Yeah,
you know,
for real,
like,
dude.
It's not her business. She's also 17 years old. It's risky enough that you're working at a bar. Maybe don't try and get more involved than you already are.
Exactly, dude.
And I think she's one of those people that just, like, gets off on being the center of attention in the sense that, you know how there's those people that, like, you can tell they just love being stressed?
Yes.
They go out of the way to find work for themselves, and then you're like, how are you? And they're like, oh my God, I am just so
For
over this.
real,
I'm
dude.
I feel like that's Carter, you know? She
Completely agree.
She likes to be the hero. And then when people are like, you've worked so hard, good job, you know, it's always like, oh no, it's fine. It was fine, really, it was fine. It was no big deal.
Yep.
Stop it, Carter. You're 17. Maybe if you were so smart, you should put that towards graduating high school.
True statement, but that's just not her cup of tea, which I'm fine with that.
I noticed some people on the YouTube comments last week also wrote this. I feel like the entire community failed Carter because they just let her drop out so easily.
They did.
There was no like, all right, let's try and troubleshoot this. What are you struggling with? Let's get you tutors.
Nope.
We understand that you maybe don't want to go to college, but let's get you to complete high school. And also this person wrote, and I'm sorry I'm not giving credit. I forgot who wrote this. They were like, what kind of an example is she setting for Grant, who's about to enter high school?
True statement. Her example is just quit.
Yeah. Thank God there's Taylor.
Yeah, right?
To set an example.
True statement.
So let's talk about Grant. Loved that we got more Grant.
I know it. We got a lot more Grant.
And he's going to high school. Max gave him a tour of the high school and girl advice with I Love It. And why was he getting girl advice? Because Reagan is back. Woo!
Dude, I thought Max giving that girl advice to was like pretty sexy.
Yeah.
Like,
Where it's like you can't force it. You have to kind of play hard to get. You
Yeah,
have to
right?
make her want you.
Oh yeah, and what did
Loved
he
it.
say when he was like, every girl wants a guy whose like attention is all about her, but only a guy that's attention is all about her when he has his own life. And I was
Yes.
like, yes.
Preach. Alex Saxon with the
Woo!
wisdom.
True statement right
Yes,
there.
preach. I loved that. I'm very, very excited that Reagan is back in the picture.
Me too.
We're getting more of a Grant storyline.
And he's
And
growing
how
up.
cute. She calls him and he's like fumbling with his phone.
I know.
Do you remember that though? Those like first crushes where you like, for me, it was always me calling the boys because I'm the chattiest person in the
too.
world. And then I would call them and they would like say 2 words and I would just talk their ears off. But
Yep.
the whole time I'd be so nervous. I would
Yep.
just keep rambling.
About the dumbest stuff. Like
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts or something. Like, you know what I mean? It would be the dumbest thing that you would be talking about.
Oh, so cute.
I miss those
love
days.
it. I mean, I don't miss it that much. I did a lot of crying. But, 14. It's not easy.
It was fun crying,
And
though.
Taylor Swift said 15 wasn't easy either.
Yeah.
All right. Let's chat about Ben. Ben. So, and I agree with Yell on this. She says she likes that everybody really cares about Ben.
I do too.
What she doesn't like is that Lori seems to think that because... Oh, I lost my spot. Shoot.
You got it. You got it.
Lori thinks that because everyone cares about Ben, they also care about her.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Yeah, she's an idiot. She's lucky
so
that everyone's so nice to her, really. She's the psychopath who kidnapped Carter.
Yeah, she's just lucky that everybody cares about Ben and he just so happens to be living with her. Which I don't understand why David didn't jump on that opportunity for her to potentially lose custody and him potentially have gained it. Like, I don't understand why that meant he would have gone back into the system.
Right.
Like,
why couldn't Ben have just gone to live with Carter's family?
Because now he has an identified other parental figure. Right. Like, he could have gone
and when it comes down to it, David is the ideal parent because he's financially supporting Ben too.
Exactly. I didn't understand. And Ben doesn't really want to live with Lori anymore.
No, and it sounds like he doesn't like her. You know, she's made it clear that he doesn't really talk to her or anything.
Yeah,
so
there's a story there.
There's definitely something going on. We don't know what it is, but...
And, like, what's the deal with Ben and all of his money and the credit cards and the IDs? Like, he set up... Okay, so...
It looks like he hacked the computer system at the bar.
Yeah, to get... My understanding, which I don't know how they're not going to notice this, it was like he took off the system that normally reads cards and put on a new one so that he's transferring the information.
Interesting. So he's stealing all the credit card numbers that are swiped.
Yep. But he switched the side. Like, the new one he put on was on the opposite side than the original one was. And I was like, brah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would have noticed that.
Exactly. Like a server or
You're
whatever.
So
you have a routine. They're going to notice that all of a sudden they're doing it with another hand.
The things you're picky about tonight are so interesting.
Listen, just...
Continuity queen.
Seriously. Like, come on. Let's be realistic here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lori said something, too, to Ben when he disappears for a while. And she goes, do you understand what's at stake? I want to be like, no, tell me more.
Yeah, right?
What is at stake?
Lori, tell us, you creepy little person.
It was big of Carter to apologize to Ben for accusing him of stealing.
Yeah, it was.
But
then she, like, went to him with advice on how to get money when she knows he's doing something not great.
I mean, he's getting money.
Yeah. And
it's not like her solution was legal anyway.
True. And then when he, like, responded and was like, you just have to know what people want and sell them that. And then she was like, I know I was keeping you around for a reason. I'm like, what?
I'd be like, shut up.
Yeah,
Shut
like,
up.
are you listening to yourself? You're, like, trying to gain his trust, but in, like, a really stupid, let's be felons together kind of way. I'm like, what is happening?
I also thought it was pretty funny that Carter came to what I'm assuming was tattle on Ben to Lori.
Yeah.
But she stumbles into the social worker meeting and, surprise, I'm a supportive friend, too.
Yep. Yeah.
I think it's interesting that when David left for his book tour and he sort of said something to Carter implying that he's like proud of her for growing up and stuff, that she didn't, like, before he left, be like, hey, Ben's being shady.
Yeah.
Because that's why she went to Lori's house. And don't you think Carter would trust David more than Lori?
Oh, absolutely.
And if David is so involved in Ben's life, she should have gone to David first and not Lori.
Agreed.
But that's just me.
Yeah, and she didn't seem like shocked or bothered at all or anything that David was there at Lori's. You know what I mean? Which I expected that to be like a slight, like, not necessarily mad at him, but just like,
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Who contacted you to be here?
Right.
Did you talk to Lori? Why did you talk to Lori?
Right.
I don't know. Just my thoughts. These are my thoughts.
Then we got Gabe rolling with Ben. Gabe blew a .16, which is like, you should be hospitalized for being that wasted.
Yeah.
And he was drinking. What I want to know is why wasn't Ben getting reprimanded for hanging out with Gabe? Elizabeth is very nice to him and gives him a ride home, but if I were an adult with a child who I just picked up from jail, granted he wasn't driving, but was in the car with somebody who is wasted, you make it very clear what they did wrong.
I felt like she kind of did, but not really.
No,
you know what
not
I mean?
really. She, like, put a Band-Aid on his boo-boo and, like, mothered him and stuff.
True statement. She did do that, but I felt like she tried to at the beginning and then was like, oh, this is not my place. Like, I feel like she still feels like it's not her place with Ben, which it's not, but she has the opportunity to be more of a mother figure than Lori is being, and I feel like Ben is open to having a family. You know what I mean? Like, he's come over to their place. He seems very welcoming of that entire family. It just seems like Carter's the one that he has some problems with.
Yeah, well, and they didn't, I mean, it's not like they called Lori to come get Ben.
Right.
Which is kind of absurd.
Weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Strange.
Huh.
Or they did, and Elizabeth just got there first. Whatever.
Yeah.
Point is, it bothers me that Ben wasn't punished for this. I feel like because he's, like, the new foster child who has a rough past or whatever, he's going to get babied a little bit.
Props.
Homie, don't play that.
No, you got a bag of cash.
Yeah. Yeah. That you stole from a shed. Who keeps money in a shed?
I don't know. There's still a story behind that. I would like answers to these questions.
Give
We're
me
not
answers.
we're not even dancing around these questions.
No.
We're just avoiding them, and I would like to at least dance around them.
I have a feeling what's going to happen is it's just going to be an explosion of answers in, like, one episode.
Yeah. Oh, but I do think that DJ is going to be, like, in the picture for Bird. I think that's going to be...
yeah.
I've kind of,
sure.
like, stalked them all on Instagram, and he seems to be showing up in their social circle, so, like...
Yeah, there's still, I think it was last week, I saw Bird tweet a photo of them in Georgia. They were, like, crashing Georgia parties, college parties.
That's awesome.
And it was her and Caleb Reminer and, what's the actor who plays Ben? What's his name? It's Ben.
Ben something.
Yeah, it was Ben.
Ben,
Crash, and Bird just crashing college parties in Georgia.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
cute. That seems like a fun cast to hang with.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and then the last bit, we got Gabe coming out to Taylor about having feelings for her, and she shuts that down.
I was like really shocked though.
I was very shocked too. I thought there was gonna be a little more temptation.
Me too.
I mean, I'm glad that that's how it was handled. I think that's like the smart way to go about it. I feel bad for Gabe though, but
yeah,
he's got bigger fish to fry. Even if she was like, I'm gonna dump Max for you, let's be in love. He is in such a mess.
Yes.
In his life personally that he can't handle a relationship right now. And I think it would turn out so terribly.
True that. I think it will eventually happen though.
Right.
Yeah.
He gets kicked out of the rave from Max. Whoa.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he did that. I was pretty surprised.
Yeah. Max really stepping up. He's really being a man. He always has been
like a dad.
But now he's being like a sexy man. Before he was like a boyish man, you know what I mean? But now
he's a
like,
man's man, taking care of business for his woman.
Whoop whoop.
This David thing, he's going to 26 cities in 2 months. You know what really bothered me? Like, cool. I'm glad you're going on a book tour. Something's up. I can just tell something's up.
Something will be up.
The camera held on that black car driving away too long.
Yeah.
The camera held on Elizabeth looking sad at the door too long for it to not be shady.
Truth.
And before he left, David asked Elizabeth if she's going to be okay while he's gone. When he initially brought up going on a book tour to Elizabeth, she said, "What are we going to do without you? I need you here. This family was just reunited after some really traumatic stuff. We need to be here and to settle." And he brushes that off and is like, "But I could provide a better life for these kids." And now that he's about to walk out the door, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have feelings?"
This is a true statement. But I also think that they have come to a point where they are finally comfortable in their love and their relationship again, that she feels that he can go. And I think she does believe that she'll be okay.
Wow.
Until he cheats or does something shady on the book.
I was going to say, I wish that the ghost of Kyle came back so Elizabeth could have an affair with him.
Well, that's the only bad
miss
thing.
Kyle.
Is because now, that they've already had this whole affair thing once, that I feel like Finding Carter can't really go back down that route with them, or else it would be repetitive. You know what I mean? So he can't really do anything too shady, and she can't really do anything too shady. They can't bring in another person and then kill him off. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I was, when it showed David getting into that black car, I was hoping that the camera was going to cut to inside the car and Lori was sitting in there and she's like, "All right, you ready for this?" And he's like, "Yeah, baby."
Ooh, what if
How juicy would that
What
be?
if what's her butt comes back? The one TA chick.
Oh,
and
was her
a
name
part of the big
Hillary?
tour. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it was definitely Hillary.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Oh, that'd be juicy.
Yeah,
He dismissed her though. I feel like she's donezo, but that would be super juicy.
I feel like that's somebody they could bring back.
All right. Well, we're basically predicting, but let's go into predictions.
Yeah, great. Dig it.
And
So,
now,
next week's
your
promo.
AFTERBUZZ TV.
We got it. Ooh, it looks juicy. We got Carter catching Ben from stealing from the bar, and she goes, "You're stealing from my boss," and Ben's like, "Don't mess with me." And then Elizabeth walks into the bar and catches Carter and is like, you don't work here anymore. And Carter turns into a teenager and is like, it's not your call to tell me where to work. Jared tells Carter the parties are over.
Yeah.
Taylor tells Max that Gabe has feelings for her. Gabe punches somebody. We don't know who. And then it looks like somebody is like on top of Taylor at a party, like on a bed, like attacking her.
Oh,
like she might be like getting raped or something, or like sexually assaulted, or just someone's fighting her on a bed.
No.
Yeah. And then the last part is Ben says to Carter, "You have no idea what you just did." This was a juicy teaser.
Oh, and
I realized that we didn't even talk about Carter telling Jared she's 17, but we can
talk about that in the predictions. Yeah.
So, juicy stuff.
Yeah.
Why don't you go first? Tell me about Carter telling him she's 17 and
well, about dang time.
Yeah.
And like, if I were him, he actually handled it quite well, because I would have been like, dude, I don't even care that you have lied to me, really. I really don't care about you and I right now. I care about the fact that I could be arrested. If, you know what I mean? Like, I could be arrested, 1, for hiring you, 2, for serving you alcohol, for serving all of your friends alcohol. Like, he has committed so many crimes by her lying about this. I would have been like, out, dude, fired. Like, that point blank, fired. We'll talk about this, you and I, later. But right now, just get out of my bar and do not come back. I will call you. And he was just like, just go home. And I would have been like, dude, fire her first. Mm-hmm. So I'm not, I think it's silly that she's even seen in the bar and Elizabeth comes and drags her out, because she shouldn't even be back in that bar in any capacity.
Yeah, he's definitely totally in love with her.
Yeah, he totally is.
And that's going to screw him over.
Yeah, and it'll totally continue on. And I'm honestly fine with that. Like, I liked him more in this episode. I absolutely did. He seemed, like, happier, and it was good to see his character, like, smiling and being goofy. I think it suits him better. So I think he will stick around for a while, but I think he's totally going to potentially lose that bar, like, real soon around here, because I don't think that's going to go over with Elizabeth very well, and she may...
And it's not like he can feasibly keep supporting his bar by throwing a rave once a month.
No. And then he's going to get caught with that. Now that Elizabeth is involved in any way, he's not going to get away with any of this stuff, especially if he's involved with Carter.
Yeah.
Nope.
You know, I've never ran a bar, but a little business advice. Maybe, like, rebrand yourself.
Yeah, I don't know.
Offer up some new, exciting happy hour menu items or something, you know?
Yeah, or maybe, like, clean up the bar at night. Because, like, those morning shots when there's still, like, things and cans and glasses everywhere.
That's not how it works working at a bar. You're supposed to clean before you close.
I don't think that's sanitary. And don't waste so much liquor on trying to train a 17-year-old. I mean, like, liquor sales, brah.
Yeah. If you're short on cash, don't waste it on a mojito. Not bright.
Don't sit around with your employees and drink after hours. I don't know. I wasn't okay with it. And I think that Max will try to be supportive of Taylor, even though Gabe has feelings for her. But I think eventually it'll cause problems, because Max is going to be so much more aware now of their relationship and how they interact. And so I think that'll eventually not go great.
I feel like Max is going to be cool about it. But... it wouldn't be a good TV show if he was cool about it, so.
Truth.
It'll make good drama if he's not. Gabe, I want to know who he's punching. I feel like he might punch Ben. Sounds like they're kind of partners in crime together.
Yeah.
And, he might get caught up in this money scheme that Ben's in, or... I feel like Ben also is the kind of guy who he's quiet, but then when he talks, he can say something that's a real, like, douchey thing to say.
Absolutely.
So he might say something like... oh, yeah, what about your dead dad? You know, and then Gabe will just pop him one.
I agree. I kind
of want to watch this. Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Oh, man, I don't know who's attacking Taylor, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's not great to me. I don't know who that could possibly be either. It's not going to be Max. I don't think it'll be Gabe. It doesn't matter how drunk Gabe gets. It's obviously not going to be Ben. They're related. It could maybe be that one... What
if it's the DJ? What if Bird starts seeing the DJ?
Nah. That's not gonna happen. Maybe it's what's his name? Damon?
Oh, I forgot about him.
Is that his name?
Yeah,
Damon. Maybe it's Damon.
Yeah,
but
I haven't seen him lately.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like they keep him around too, because with my stalking, he's still hanging out with the cast. So.
Or, what if they're at a party? Gabe gets really wasted, super high. Confronts Taylor again about his feelings, but he's like pushing himself on her because he's drunk. And she's like, no, Gabe, get off. And he's huge and she's tiny. And like, what if he forces himself on her? What if it's Gabe?
And then
that would be so sad.
And then Max comes in and breaks it up.
And then Gabe punches Max. Oh my God, we wrote the show.
Yep, we did it.
So we wrote the show. That might be the best moment on AfterBuzz Finding Carter After Show history.
Yep.
I don't think we can top that. Hannah, tell everybody where they can find you on the internet.
Y'all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude.
And follow me on Twitter at the Kylie Hodges or Instagram just at Kylie Hodges. And please tune in next week for another epic recap episode. And thank you all so much for watching this week. See you guys soon. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.